What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Wednesday's Random. I am your girl, her to you, whatever it may be. Um, I want to say, I want to get into today's topic because last time it took me like forever to actually tell you what the topic was and why it's on my mind. It is don't give up. That is the theme of today's show or episode podcast is don't give up. I know that um that that's just I don't know if people call that cliche, but right now those words don't give up are really heavy. Are really heavy and they mean a lot. They mean a lot to me right now. So, yesterday, if you all were following along, um, I was invited to do a podcast with Kendall, and she has a podcast called Sisters on the Sofa. Um, and she's a relationship coach. And me and her do talk outside of our businesses or anything. We do consider ourselves kindred spirits. Like we have connected in a way that's been very different than how I've developed any of my other friendships. But we've always talked about within our conversations, we've always talked about how my trauma has affected like my relationships and stuff like that. And so she invited me to come on to her podcast to record, to do a live. I am so lives make me nervous. This I can do because I know that I can stop it. I can stop it, start it, say what I need to say, do it over, whatever. Even though I actually do not. These are always the first take because I want it to be raw, uncut, or whatever. But lives make me super nervous. So, um, so again, I did that, and I don't know, talking about my my book in any shape or form in my memoir is very hard for me. Like it's twofold because it's hard because um I'm internalizing everything that's happening. Like I'm reliving certain memories, like certain things are playing in my head. And also it's very relieving. Like it's very helpful. Like I can't say. I know some people say each time I've said these things, like it helps me heal or it gets better and better. I'm not there yet because it still hurts. Like I can still feel the hurt of it. I can still feel um the trauma of it. I can still, I can right in conversation I can revert back to being a little kid, like there's a lot of things that happens um at the same time because I've learned how to um be two different people. I've learned how to hold that in, right? So I I'm able to put on a good face and do what I'm supposed to do, like show up. I used to always say, like when it came to light, camera, action, boom, I can come on. And that's what I did. But at the same time, I was very honest, open and everything because she created that space. She created a real safe space for me to share my story. One thing about people who do read my story, I will say that is um, they all are really gentle with me. They're very gentle with me. Um, and another thing is people who read my story, I end up having to do one or two things. The first thing is I have to console them. I have to console them with my story. I do. I have to um kind of wipe their tears in a sense. Like it's okay. This is not currently happening. Um, and then the second thing is I have to, even in that process, I have to not allow myself to break down. Like I can't. Like in those moments, and times, I am the most vulnerable in those moments, because seeing someone have raw emotions with your story, seeing, I'll say this, I'm gonna own it. Seeing people have raw emotions to my memoir, it always makes me be like, yeah, this wasn't supposed to happen this way. Nope, this was not supposed to be this way. Like, this wasn't normal, or, this was wrong. This was abuse. This was that. It always brings it right. I have to face it right then and there, but I have to put it away. I can't stay in that place long because I'll break down. I will break down, and I cannot stay there because I have to understand that I'm not there. So immediately when I'm trying to console a person and I'm like, it's it's okay, I understand. Yes, 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 it's all right. Yeah, okay. I can't tell that, then I'm like, oh, okay, okay, get it together, get it together. In my head, I'm like, get it together, get it together, get it together. So I do a lot of smiling and, laughing, or trying to, kind of make a little joke about it. It's never awkward for me. It's just a hurry up, I need to get out that place. So it was a blessing. It was a blessing for me to do that, because it brought up again for me not to ever give up. Like, for me not to give up fighting for whatever it is that I'm fighting for. Fighting for me to heal, fighting for myself, my traits, my characteristics to flow through, for me to know who I am as a whole person, for me to come to terms with my past, for me to forgive, to forgive myself, to forgive, like, whatever it is that is happening in those moments. Because that's the thing I'm starting to learn on my journey, is I may be in a total forgiving place one day. The next day, I might not be there, and so it really is a daily decision. It is really a daily thing that I work through all of this, because I have to remind myself on a daily basis what the goal is. And the goal is to heal. But it's a healing process. It is a journey. Like, what happened to me didn't happen overnight. And we live in a world where we want quick fixes. Who wouldn't want a quick fix to be healed? But that's not how that goes. So so basically, let me just take a little water break. Excuse me, guys. So afterwards, after we did the live, she called me just to, see, check on me, see how everything went, how I felt about everything. I felt it went great. I did. Like I said, I felt very comfortable. I felt like she asked really important questions. She allowed me to work through. She allowed me to explain myself. She really dug into it. It really felt good. It low-key kind of felt like a counseling session. I ain't even gonna hold you. It did feel that way, which was actually really, really therapeutic, because one of her things she was telling me was, like, one thing she did say in the live was like, I don't know if you're, what did she say? She was like, I don't know if you're still promoting your book, but you need to continue promoting your book. And I low-key, oh my God, I do promote my book in a sense. I don't do it as much as I should, because I always feel bad. I always feel like I should be doing something else. Like, I'm the type of person that once I accomplish something, then I'm trying to go on to the next thing. And I keep being reminded that this shouldn't be a thing that I should continue to move on, because obviously a part of me wants to move on because it signifies me moving on with my life. But another part of me really wants me to do more with my story, really share my story, really get it out to the masses, really get it in front of people who can move it to where it needs to be, to where it can be in the hands of people who truly need it, And so so last night when we got off the phone, like, I just kept over and over in my head, I was like, girl, you can't give up. Like, you cannot give up. And I think about, like, when, like, artists and musicians and stuff, when they come out with a song or a mixtape or something, they might run that thing, it may take a year for that single or whatever to hit, to hit, and then it's rotating again. So but not only that, it's my story. Like, it's my story, and I have to give myself grace. I have to give myself a chance to really open and share my story. Like, I come on here Wednesdays Random and I discuss the things that are happening in my mind this week, or the trials and tribulations that I'm going through and how I'm dealing with it. And I use this as therapy. As I say all the time, this is therapeutic for me to get on here and just get out my thoughts and get out everything. But but that's not what my book is. Like, I shouldn't use my book as like a dumping ground and then I move on. I have to find a way to because it's like it's torment. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, it's uncomfortable. Like, I love my book. I do. I love my book, my memoir. I love that the fact that it was perceived the way that it was perceived, because I know how hard I worked on it. I know when I was being told I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that, I found a way to make sure I could do it. I really blood, sweat, and tears. Like, that was really a thing, blood, sweat, and tears. And then it's like, so then you just go. You gonna chuck it? You gonna chuck it the deuces? You think this is it? You think, you should be promoting it every day. You should be announcing your book every day. You should be getting on people's nerves and then some, to where they're like, because you not only is the product, is the book good? It's written well, it's really good. It is perceived. There's not one person that I had that read this book that didn't perceive it how I want it to be perceived. Like, that's a gift. That is a gift that was given, and that was God. God is through them pages, because he led me to tell me what I need to do. He told me to write it. He told me to publish it. He told me, not to give up on it, and he kept me up day and night and working on it. And so to just again think that, all right, here it is, and just let it go. Like, I perceived it wrong. I did. I'll admit that I perceived it wrong. I did think that I was going to write a book. I was going to get my story out, and then I was gonna move on, and go on to another chapter of my life. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up on the memoir of A Secret Kept. I am going to share my story. Someone even reached out to her and expressed how they just needed to hear that. They needed to hear my story and everything else. And so I'm definitely going to work on what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I did before when I went to write this book, is I'm going to go to God. I'm going to go in prayer. and I'm gonna ask, what is it? Take me where I'm supposed to go, because I can't do it by myself. I can't do it by myself, because it's pain. It's still, it's very painful. It's very painful. Um, and then I think I'm getting really nervous because my daughter plans on reading it, and then I don't know what that's gonna look like for me. I have no idea what that's gonna look like for me. She's 16, so she's very conscious. She's well aware of the relationship that I have with my mother. Um, she's very conscious of some of the things that trickle out that I do, um, and how I mother her, like some of the traits that come with that. Like, one day we was in the car, and I forgot what subject came up or whatever. Oh yeah, I was telling her about how we were going to talk about um my book. I was telling her how I was going to go do this podcast, Sits on the Sofa, Kendall Turner. If you have not checked her out, check her out. Um, and she was like, and I was like, oh, well, it's about relationships and how my trauma affected my relationships. And she was like, well, I can see that kind of with me, because you're not really affectionate. Like, you're not really as affectionate with me. And that's one thing that me and my daughter do struggle with. Like, my daughter is super affectionate. She's really, really affectionate. She hugs, kisses, even her big age, she'll plop on you, hug you, want to kiss, want to, she can just, oh, mom, give me a kiss. Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss? And I'm like, mm-mm. Like, ugh, don't touch me. And that is sometimes with me. And so when she said that to me, I was like, and I've been apologizing for actually years. I've been apologizing, saying, baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. I'll do better. I'll do better. And again, and I had to think back, like, yeah, with my childhood, um, there wasn't like affection that flowed from me and my mother. There weren't hugs, there weren't kisses, there were no I love yous, um, none of that. There was none of that. So it was hard for me to be affectionate, even in my relationships. Like, my daughter's father was my first like real relationship, and I remember that was a tension, right? And he would associate to, like, you just want to be like a guy, and I'm like, no. It's just, I don't know how to I don't know how to receive it or give it, and we were young, and so we were not mature enough to communicate, like, yeah, I can't hug you or kiss you, or I can't do any of that, because I don't know how. Like, how do I explain? Like, I don't know how, and it feels weird, right? It feels funny. You know what it feels? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like. If y'all have ever gotten y'all feet done, if y'all ever went to go get a pedicure, and that chill, that like that chill that comes up on you when the person's touching your feet, and you're like, oh, stop. And to me, it's not a ticklish, it's just like a chill, like, oh, stop. And so that's what it would be. And that is like, her dad, I would physically like he'll, and I'd be like, and he's like, and we'll be in public. And he'll be like, are you serious right now? And then he was sensitive. Like, so he was sensitive. So, like, I would hurt his feelings and have to be like, I'm sorry. Like, and so he would take it as something totally different. Because, like I said, because we wasn't mature enough. And even like at my big age now, like sometimes, but I explain, like, listen, I can be affectionate, but I just work with me. I have to work through it. If you love affection, just understand this isn't me being standoffish. This isn't me not. This is just me natural. This is just who I am. And so, yeah. So that's one thing that that I know affects my relationship with my daughter. And so that's why it's a constant work in process. That's why, yeah, that's why it's constant work, and you can't give up. You can't give up because, one, you're never where you started. You're never where you started. You know, you're always going to be closer to where you want to be. And not only that, like, I've had low points. I've had low times, but the low times didn't feel like the last low time, because I knew what victory looked like. I knew what getting myself out of that low place felt like. I knew that. I knew how that felt. So that gave me hope. Knowing that I got out of this situation, knowing that I dealt with that heartbreak, knowing that hurt, but it didn't stay long. Like, I start to find power in that, or I start to find hope and faith and grace and forgiveness in that, knowing like, okay, it's gonna hurt today, sis, but tomorrow it might hurt some more. It might hurt tomorrow too. But one of these tomorrows, you're not gonna feel it the same. You're not even gonna think about it. You know what I mean? You're not even gonna remember it. Like, and I've gotten there. Like, anytime that I find myself in a place where I'm like, dude, this or that, and I'll be like, remember when this hurt? And look how you got out of that. So that's another reason why, like, I can't give up. Like, I can't give up. I have to find, you just got to start. I just feel like it's super important for you to start listing out your tools, like pulling out your tools, pulling out your tools. Like, for me, again, it's journaling. Journaling has done a lot for me. Praying, manifesting, listening to sermons, listening to gospel music, listening to R&B music. And then I've learned how to, even though sitting with myself is super hard, because you have to sit with your thoughts, you have to sit with your true self, sitting with myself has actually been helping me just really come to terms with what I'm going through, to put it into perspective, because I don't have all of these people in my ear who aren't doing anything wrong but trying to encourage, right? Let you know you're a good person, and you deserve this. And yeah, you could be angry, you can be this, you could be that. But when you sit with yourself and you know the real truth, you know how you really feel, you cannot hide from that. You can't lie to that. You know exactly what it is. And you have to really sit in that thing and be like, all right, this is how I feel. This is how I feel today. This is how I feel. This is my true feeling. What am I going to do? When it's playing over and over and over in your head what you should have said, what maybe you could have done. Like, that, to me, I'm starting to learn from. Like, okay, next time I don't want, because I want to feel it. I want to feel it, so I don't. So it's conscious to me when I'm put in that situation again to be like, oh yeah, no. I'm not doing this again. I'm not saying that again. Like, okay, let's discuss this. Or I'm not going to make that decision, because I don't want to put myself in this type of situation. So, once again, this journey, sometimes it makes me feel like I'm all over the place. or like I sound like I'm all over the place. But I don't want to give up. I want to know what's on the other side. I don't want to give up. Even if tomorrow, which, tomorrow's not promised, but even if tomorrow is my last day, like, I don't want to give up. I want to have the hope and the faith and the excitement of seeing a different day, living a different life. I'm tired of being okay and comfortable with sorrow. I am. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. It's time to live. It's time to be grateful, because I've been blessed. I've been really, really blessed. There, so many people with my story have had different lives, have had totally different lives. Some better than mine, some harder than mine. I want to know mine. I want to know mine. I want to know my story. I want to know. I'm grateful to know that I get to choose, to a certain extent, because I definitely want to live with whatever God gives, right? Because what He can provide for me, what He has for me, I wouldn't even be able to. My mind is not going to even think that far to even. I want what He got. But in the meantime, I know that there's work for it. I know that there's something that I have to do. There's things that I have to do to prepare myself to get it. And He's never going to leave me. He's not going to leave me. He's not going to leave me to figure it out by myself. And that's what I know. I know that in this process, that the reason why we always feel like we're going to give up, because you feel like you're alone. You feel like you're doing it by yourself. But in reality, it's not. You're not. You're not. The universe hears. He hears. And you're going to be provided the resources that you need. You just got to get out of that mental block. You got to get out of that mental block. And you just have to do whatever it is that you have to do at that moment. But like I said, I'm finding pleasure in my solitude and my silence. I've always been a loner anyways. Like, I really have. I'm a loner. And loner doesn't have to feel like you're alone or feel like it's depressing or anything like that. Like it's really you discovering you. Like, you should be able to sit with you, and that's what people can't do. A lot of people can't do that. They can't sit with themselves, and I know, because it's hard. It's very hard sitting with yourself, because you can't run from yourself. You can't. So that's it for Wednesday's Random with your girl, Her to You. I have not decided what I'm going to do. I haven't decided. I love me some. Her is always a thing, but everyone's like, well, the Her to You. I put Her to You on there because, oh girl, Her took my name. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't singing. I wasn't rapping. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't famous. So Her trumped all of that. But yeah, so then I was like, Her to You, because, it's like, Her to You is like, I try to explain this all the time, and it makes sense to me. But you know how, like, people be like, how people be like I can't explain it. I'm taking break because I'm saying it in my head, but it's not coming out. So Her to You is like, one time there's this, and this is so crazy. One time there's this guy that was trying to holler at me forever. And I used to be like, he'd be like, what's your name? I'd be like, what it is. And so he'd be like, every time he see me, he'd be like, hey, what it is. So Her to You, really, I ain't even gonna hold y'all, it really did thrive at that. because I didn't want to go by name, so it's like it's her to you. You know what I'm saying? To you is her, because I'm her. So that is really the truth of where that came from with the her to you. Because I thought about that guy that used to ask me all the time, like, what's your name? What's your name? And I'd be like, what it is. That is horrible, but whatever. It is horrible. No, it's not. It's her though. I love her. Her is just her. But in reality, her is always gonna be my girl, my 12-year-old self. Like, I'm not gonna leave her at all. Like, I'm not. She's going along with this journey with me. She's definitely, that's when my 12-year-old, like, we all have that person that person. We all have that age where we were so proud, so confident in ourselves and everything. And that was her. My 12-year-old self, sis could have been anything she wanted to be. You couldn't have told me nothing at that age. And that's what, like I said, the book is in homage to how I lived my life at 12 years old. And I for a long time I blamed myself for feeling like I felt like a death. I felt like it was a death of me when it came to her hopes and dreams. I felt like I killed them to create this person, to defend, to be defensive, to be angry, to, I called it in my book, I call it the monster that I created. But yeah, but if you want to learn more about, her and who she is, you have to pick up a copy of Memoir of a Secret Kept. This is on Amazon. Amazon low key is a hater because if you put in the title, it doesn't pull it up. Like, you have to literally put in my name. So that's Shanice Irving. But on this video, I definitely am going to put a link to the to the Amazon. If you go on to my Instagram, Her to You, there's a link in that, and that also would take you to the Amazon store for that as well, for my book. So yeah, so that's it for Wednesday's Random. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, and I really do appreciate everyone that views this and listens to my story, and continue to just root for me. Yeah, really just root for me in real life. Root for me, root for yourself. If I've inspired you in any type of way to tell your own story, like, that's always great. That's always great to hear people who also want to share their story. So don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how you feeling. But in the end, do not give up. Do not give up. Do not give up. This life is really short, and we waste a lot of time not doing what we want to do. So let's get it together, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so again, follow, like, subscribe. Thank you for following the Healing Brand with Her, and peace.